a dull moment.
Let's march!
No time to rest. Time to press ahead.
What's the story? Why not? Let me see if I can paint you a picture. The year, 10 air. The place, sleepy little town called Baldur's Gate. Our hero, Karlach, a knock-kneed delinquent from the outer city with everything to give and nothing to lose. I was a kid looking for a way to fill my days and make some cash when I fell into the wrong crowd. Worked for a guy I respected. A lot. Turns out the feeling wasn't mutual. Through the jigs and the reels, he made a deal with Zariel behind my back. You know Zariel, right? Archdevil of Avernus. The two of them conspired to give me a little gift. Hear that? Infernal engine for a heart. Lets me burn as hot as the hells. Seems to be running in overdrive since I left Avernus. Won't be seeing my mechanic anytime soon, so I'll just make the most of the extra heat. Just don't get too close till I've found a way to calm it down. High pain tolerance, and a dynamic duo of truly shitty bosses. But it's a bit early in the game to be getting into tragic backstories. Let's save the Scar show for later, after we've worked up an appetite for tragedy. Meanwhile, I'll need to find someone who can tune up my engine sooner rather than later. Believe me when I say this thing is hot. The first time I faced down those Paladins, they let slip there was an infernal mechanic in the area. A tiefling. He might be able to stabilize things, if I can find him. A weaponsmith, huh? Not sure if he's the guy, but I'd love to find out. A tune-up would do this rusty heart a world of good. Yeah? Old Rusty? Sure. Gives me energy. Power. But you've seen it in action. Very hard to control. If I'm excited at all, angry, nervous, delighted, enticed, I burn hot. Hot enough to burn anyone who gets close. Agonizing. God's what I wouldn't give for a hug. A pat. Anything. You've never met anyone so desperate for a hug as this one right here. Pathetic perhaps, but true. It's my lot to bear, and I bear it badly. Oh well. Can't have it all, can you? Not today, at least. Soldier? Depends on the type. Ice devils hate an inferno, but that's an easy one. Orthons love projectiles. What they don't love is getting their bombs lobbed right back in their faces. Demons, on the other hand, every demon is absolutely singular. You can't ever think you've got them typed out. Sharp instincts, sharp weapons, and a knack for improvisation. That's the only way to survive them. Anyway, what were we talking about? First things first, I need to get this engine tuned up. Thing's powerful, but it's been feeling volatile ever since I left the Hells. Can't be too hard to find an infernal mechanic round here, right? Funny you should ask. I was just thinking about what would have become of us without that Nautiloid. I mean, I know where I'd be. Trapped in Avernus still, with the Blade of Frontiers on my tail. But what about you? I can picture you getting mixed up in some outrageous shit. Giants, beholders, Thayans, the works. Maybe once we've wrapped up the current shenanigans, we'll rest a bit and find some new heap of troubles to throw ourselves at. Hey, soldier. Wasn't all that long ago. I never knew the whole of how and why, but I remember the devils slavering with delight. I should have looked after the Elterans more. Gone out of my way to make sure they were all right. The long and short of it was, I didn't want to risk my neck. I let them get on with the nightmare, same as I had to. But Avernus is no place for decent folk. I'm glad they got out. So glad. Really? Really? Oh, fine. I'll be here eating dirt or whatever.
First in my heart.
How can I help? With... have my attention.
Can't give up now.
One horn! The stink of Avernus! Advocatus Diaboli!
Well, I'll be God's damned. The Blade of Frontiers. Thought I'd shaken you for good. That'll teach me to underestimate you.
Karlach! The Archdevil Zariel's gladiator! Come to burn the Sword Coast to ash!
Well, not counting the fuckers that need a good hurting.
Shut it, devil! I know your kind. A heart darker than a shadow's nightmares. You'd cut a child's throat just to taste the blood.
A devil? I didn't take the blade for a fool. I'm...
A great fire roars through you. The fire of the first hell. You are Karlach, tearing through demons across a blood-red landscape of fire and volcanic cinder. The front lines of the Blood War. With every swing of her axe, Karlach fulfills Mistress Zariel's purpose.
Proof! Clear as summer sky. It's over, Karlach. It's time you feel the sting of the blade.
I've tried to tell you. I'm not what you think I am.
Another vision. Karlach's blade rays slicing through devils, Zariel's servants, as her eyes dart around, seeking escape. Wyll shudders with Karlach's desperation. She is a victim of the Blood War, not an agent of it.
By Balduran's helm, No! I will not be tricked!
You saw the truth. I may be an effective soldier, but I never wanted to serve Zariel. Legged it away from her the first chance I got.
And yet you served. No! Devils cannot be trusted!
Would you listen to sense? This doesn't have to end badly for either of us. You know monsters better than anyone. Can't you look in my eyes and see I'm not a devil?
You don't know what this means. You don't know what you're asking me to do.
I'm asking you to live, Wyll. I don't want to hurt you. And to be frank, I'd rather not find out how the Blade got his name. I swear to you, on all I am, I'm not what you think.
Shit! Shit. You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Oh, thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
You would have died in the attempt. But there have been enough threats today.
Truce then, eh?
Aye. Truce. I see the good in you, Karlach. I promise not to lose sight of it. Even when the hells burn hottest.
I need a quick word.
Glad Wyll saw sense. Even more glad he decided to stick around. Takes a pretty slick mover to track down old Karlach. Same. Now, instead of a liability, I've got a friend. Or I will have soon, anyway. Hey, soldier.
What path lies before me?
You've been witness to a pantomime, I'm sorry to say. And I've played my part all too poorly. I can say only this. Karlach's not the only one who's had a villain's knife held to their throats. One night soon, when we make camp, the veil will be lifted, and I'll pay my penance. You're not in any danger, I promise. I can't say the same about me. Well met. He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think? Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great. That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Something important. I can never take for granted how someone might react when they learn I worship Lady Shah. Easier to just keep it a secret than take the risk. But you showed you had an open mind. I'm trying to say that you've earned my trust in a way very few ever have. I want that to mean something. I want you to know more about me, at least from what I can remember. As long as I've prayed to Lady Shah, I've wished to serve her as a dark justiciar. There is scarcely a greater way to fully dedicate yourself to Lady Shah, save perhaps if you become the head of her church. To become a dark justiciar is to become the Night Singer's sword arm, her implement with which she will cast down the unbelievers and win the final battle to restore her perfect, endless darkness. It's all I ever wanted. I prayed it was my calling. But Mother forbid me from seeking to prove myself worthy of the rank. She said I was not ready. Not my mother, I should add. The Mother Superior, head of Lady Shah's enclave in Baldur's Gate. Sometimes I wonder if she would ever deem me ready. I owe her everything, and I only wish to serve, yet she can prove inscrutable. My faith will guide me.
Quite ready for you. Quite quick or back.
No one's stopped me yet.
Direct me.
Looking ahead. At the ready. I'm way too big. Bodies everywhere. Accidental sabotage. I'll take that. I've got a long road ahead. On my way.
Keep your distance, darling.
What to do? Breathe deep and move. Always room for more?
That might be worth a look. It's been a while since these two breathed their last.
There are symbols on their equipment. An interesting pair.
What a day.
Is that blood? No, never mind. I have to keep going.
Let's have some fun. Let's have a little fun.
Squeal, little piggies!
Let's go into the shadows. Yes, here. Of course.
I can't even catch my breath.
Can't give up.
They want
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.